In this video, we are going to work with multiplication with operands up to 100. So operands are basically just the numbers that we're going to be working with. Okay, so Gavin is baking cookies in batches of 10 cookies. If Gavin bakes 20 batches, how many cookies has he made? So we need to multiply. So we're going to be multiplying the 10 cookies by 20 batches, because that will give us the total amount of cookies that he's making. Okay, so when we're doing double-digit multiplication, it's done a little bit different. So we first do 0 times 0. We start with our ones place. 0 times 0 is 0, of course. And 1 times 0 is 0. Okay, and then we go down here and we have to put a 0 to hold our place value, because that's what you have to do when there's double digit. Then you do 0 times 2 is 0, and 1 times 2 is 2. And then you add these rows to each other. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 0, 0, and 200 is our answer. So he is going to be making 200 cookies. Awesome. Okay. If there are 40 mice living in your kitchen, yikes, and each mouse can eat 20 pancakes, how many pancakes will be eaten by the mice? Okay, so there's 40 mice, and each one can eat 20, so we need to multiply 40 by 20. 40 times 20. All right, so first we do our ones place. So 0 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is also 0. Then it's double-digit multiplication, so we got to put our 0 in there to hold our place value. And now we're going to the tens place. 0 times 2 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and then we add these rows together to get our answers. 0, 0, and 8. So 800 pancakes will be eaten by the mice. That is a lot of pancakes. Daniel is buying cupcakes for his class. He wants to give each kid 0 cupcakes, and there are 30 kids in his class. So how many cupcakes does he need to buy? All right, well, this one we really don't even have to show our work, because he wants to give each kid 0 cupcakes. And even though there's 30 kids, anytime you multiply a number by 0, your answer is going to be 0. That's right. Not very nice, is it? Giving 0 cupcakes. All right. If there are 20 moths and each lays 100 eggs at the end of the season, how many moths will there be next season? All right, so this time we are working with triple digit by double digit, so that's hundreds times tens, but we're still going to do it the same way. So we are going to put our bigger number on top, because it's just, I find that easier. So 100 times 20. Okay, so we still just start with our ones place. 0 times 0, 0 times 0, and 1 times 0 is 0. And then, since we're still multiplying by tens, we put a 0 to hold our place value. Then we're going to have 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. And 1 times 2 is 2. And then you add these together, which your answer is going to be 2,000. So there will be 2,000 nasty moths next summer. Okay, now we have multiple choice. The butterfly on the Earth-like planet X can feed on 70 flowers an hour. If a butterfly is active for 10 hours per day, how many flowers can it feed on? So now I just want to do a trick and show you a quicker way to figure these out. So when you have 70 and you're multiplying by 10, anytime you're multiplying any number by 10, you just add a 0 to that number. So 70 times 10 is always, it's going to be 700, because when you're multiplying any number by 10, you add a 0 to it. So 700 is our answer. If there are 0 mice living in your kitchen and each mouse can eat 60 pancakes, how many pancakes will be eaten by mice? Well, we know the law of 0. Anytime you multiply a number by 0, your answer is going to be 0. So we know that answer is 0. Lauren is buying cupcakes for her class. She wants to give each kid 20 cupcakes, and there are 50 kids in her class. How many cupcakes does she need to buy? All right, so we could go ahead and do 50 times 20. And another quick way you could do this is, so you know 5 times 2 is 10. And then since it's 20, you add 2 zeros, but that's a little bit confusing to remember. So let's just do it the long way. 50 times 20. So you do the ones place first, 0. 5 times 0 is 0. You put in your 0 to hold your place value. 0 times 2 is 0. And 5 times 2 is 10. Your answer is 1,000. It's always safer to just do the math because then it won't confuse you. All right, the butterflies on the Earth-like planet X can feed on 5 flowers an hour. If a butterfly is active for 20 hours per day, how many flowers can it feed on? Well, without doing that math, I actually know that 20 times 5 is 100. So you could also count by 20s for this one. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So I know my answer is 100. If there are 10 moths and each lays 2 eggs at the end of the season, how many moths will there be next season? Well, 10 times 2, we know, is 20. There will be 20 eggs. Caden is buying cupcakes for his class. He wants to give each kid 6 cupcakes, and there are 2 kids in his class. How many cupcakes does he need to buy? So these are pretty basic. There are times tables. We know that 6 times 2 is 12. Let's try one harder one. If there are 10 mice living in your kitchen and each mouse can eat 20 pancakes, how many pancakes will be eaten by mice? When we're multiplying by tens, we know we just add a 0 to the number that we're multiplying by. So 20 times 10 would be 200.